that can also go hand in hand with thyroid disease, as you know. So it's a big portion for us because as women, we look at ourselves in a camera, and if we don't look good, then we don't feel good. It does something to us emotionally. So the more we can pamper ourselves in our 30s and be prepared for getting into midlife, going in there with optimal health, then you can keep that optimal health just by keeping these holistic routines, your self-care routines, your movement routines, stress relief routines, so that you can enjoy life, because we want to live in the present moment. We look back and we'll be like, even this year, think about it, where did the time go this year? So we need to learn to live in the present. We're promised today, let's make the most of today and really enjoy it and put our energy into the day. And that can be a way of living optimally, because that changes our mindset when we take the time to enjoy, instead of feeling the frustration of, oh, I can't take this phone call right now, I'm too busy. Maybe it's something that you need to do. You need that connection. So it's a whole body thing. There's that mind, body, spirit connection, which is especially important for optimal health when we get into midlife.
What strategies can women use to reduce mood swings during menopause?
And a lot of that comes down to these little strategies with when you're having a mood swing, recognizing it and taking control of it right as it starts, doing some breathing techniques that are going to help you to relax. So I used to think meditation was really woo-woo and out there, and I wouldn't participate in that. Now I've learned that meditation isn't that at all. My favorite meditation is visualizing myself for 30 to 60 seconds on one of our Florida beaches with an umbrella, and you use your senses. You see and you feel the sounds of what's around you. And for a moment, it transports you out of that place where you might be finding inside that mood swing emotionally is happening. And it begins to calm your nervous system. Doing the breathing helps to calm your nervous system. Going out again into nature, getting grounded can help with your emotional condition and the mood swings. I was very blessed. I was into the holistic part when my leftover ovaries were going through the menopausal phase yet again. And I had all these techniques under my belt. So, I learned to put into practice what I was teaching people. And it can make a huge amount of difference. And for some people, their mood swings are dramatic. I've known friends of my daughters, when their mothers went through menopause, saying, she is a crazy woman. It's just like you can't deal with her. So there are always some little things that you can do, like the relaxation, nature, grounding yourself, that can help you. And again, the disclaimer is that if you're suffering with something like that and it's really bad, always consult with a physician, preferably a naturopathic doctor or a functional medicine doctor.
When it comes to anti-aging, what are your best practical tips?
I take myself as the model of looking at anti-aging. So for me, what has slowed down the aging, and I have to say, I'd look at myself and I'd see all these lines, crow's feet, and it really bothered me. And then starting to see some of the lines coming down here, I was not ready to age at all. I was kicking and screaming all the way. So it still comes down to key points. We have beauty from the inside out. So if you're taking care of yourself, nourishing yourself, it comes out. So I have to tell you, I have no crow's feet now unless I really crunch up my eyes. And that's pretty normal. I think that skincare is still a very vital role, but of course, as a holistic wellness person, I'm also going to tell you, don't put toxic things onto your face. We live in a toxic enough world as it is. Find something that doesn't have all the added stuff, the chemicals. Find something that suits you well, and works well with your skin. So you don't have to pay hundreds of dollars every month to find good skincare products. You can find them in the grocery store. You can find some good ones at your local pharmacy. It doesn't have to be an expensive thing. Hyaluronic acid is a great thing. You hear a lot about glycol, so you're still heading for what is the least invasive. Now, I used to go to a dermatologist, and for me, as I was fighting all the way, it was like, can you give me some retinol that's strong, that's going to help? But it didn't help. All it did was peel my skin, and I'd always be walking around with flakes on my skin. So I think I have really healthy looking skin now, and it's because of the nutrition and hydration. Hydration is a huge part of this. I know that today's scientific thing is that you're drinking half of your body weight in fluid ounces. Some people can't do that, so the starting point is still always the 8-ounce glasses of water a day. And if you can, start off your day with some lemon water. I like my lemon water warm, but it will give you an extra boost of energy in the morning, and it will help detoxify your body. Remember, we're trying to keep the toxins away. And a funny thing that I found out about was, so we hear a lot about lymphatic drainage in the holistic space. And lymphatic drainage is what drains your body of the toxins. And do you know that one of those very small trampolines that was very popular for our kids are one of the best ways of getting that lymphatic drainage going in your body? The jumping up and down, yes. And we hear about skin brushing, and it's dry skin brushing. And I always use dry brushing up toward the heart and then down toward the heart. That's very good to get the lymphatic drainage that you want. And again, avoid taking in toxins as much as you can. And it's not just in the beauty products, it's in the products that we bring into our homes. We really need to learn how to read labels, not just for our foods, but for what we bring into the home as well.
Yes. Also, when it comes to perfumes, candles.
Yes, I don't even use perfume anymore. And it was a big thing in the corporate world, going in there, making sure that was one of the pieces of getting ready to go to work. And I can't even remember the last time that I used it, and I certainly don't miss it. Perfumes are very toxic.
How can women manage sugar cravings and maintain a healthy weight as they age?
There are a few things, of course. As I said, I would say I'm a reformed sugarholic, but there's still always that longing at times for something sweet. So, one of the first things I do with people that I work with, because the two biggest things that you can benefit from if you take nothing else away from this, try to restrict your sugar intake and try to restrict your processed foods. And now you've got the processed foods and what they're calling ultra processed foods. Um, they're prevalent everywhere in our grocery stores, and it's in everything that we buy. And all of those, in and of themselves, cause sugar cravings. So, what helped me was when I first learned that the same part of the brain that affects people that are cocaine addicts, the the part that manages that craving and where that craving comes from, is the same part of the brain that causes sugar cravings. That's pretty scary to me. So, again, this all comes back to our brain health, and a conversation for another day, the gut brain connection. But the sugar cravings part, it's very hard to stop doing it. So I have tons of recipes in my arsenal, and I'll very often say to people, start by doing this, and I'll start them off with maybe 5 simple sweet treats that I call them, but they're made with all natural products that help with those sweet cravings. But one of the big things with sweet cravings is that we get them if we're not eating balanced meals every day. So if you're not getting up and having a well-balanced breakfast, if you're not doing a well-balanced lunch, and then you go to dinner and maybe that's the only balanced meal of the day you have, your sugar goes up and down. And it's just like with a diabetic, they're trying to keep their sugar levels normalized. Well, when you eat a candy bar or some other sweets that you really enjoy, your sugar, as you know, goes up. And if you begin to really think about some of these things, and as I say, the biggest thing, the scariest thing to me, because I had been addicted to Vicodin and I knew what that had done to me, when I realized that sugar cravings were working the same way as that was for me, it really helped me to think about it. One of the things that I learned to do with my migraines, because I'm highly sensitive to cheese, another thing that I absolutely love, I'm a good British girl and I love my cheese. Well, cheese is one of my triggers for migraines. So a trick that I learned was I would say to myself, okay, that cheese looks absolutely delicious. I really want to eat it. But is it worth the fact that in the morning I'm going to wake up with migraine? And the easy answer was no, it's not worth it. So I started asking myself the same thing about sugar and my chocolate. If I have, because for me, it wasn't, let's just have a little piece of chocolate. I couldn't stop because I was a sugar addict that really didn't handle the addiction of sugar very well. And I would say to myself, so something like this is driving me down the pathway to possible diabetes, problems with my blood pressure, high cholesterol. Is it worth what it's going to do to my body if I eat it now? And it should be an easy no, I'm not going to do it. It can stop the cravings. And some of the things is we've got to take our mind off things. When you realize that it's a whole brain thing where the craving's coming from, you want to kind of maybe move out of the room that you're in where the treats are at. And again, you can go outside and spend 5 minutes in nature, or just step out into another room and have a glass of water instead. Water it does so many things for us, but when we're hydrating, it can stop some of those cravings. And again, balancing your sugars is a huge thing, because the people that what I found with, and I was talking to somebody, another health coach, about this morning, she was saying that when you're not eating throughout the day, you're hungrier at the end of the day and you've got more cravings by the end of the day. So some people can do the intermittent fasting part, some people can't. Again, you've got to know your own body. But if you're fueling yourself with 3 balanced meals a day, and we're talking, yes, you can have carbohydrates. I'm not talking about white rice that is just a chemically induced type of food. Whole foods from their most natural state. Does that mean you can't have pastas? Absolutely no. You can't have white ones anymore, but start changing it up. If you can't go to brown, then start doing half white, half brown until you got into that brown mode or the quinoa mode, and do it bit by bit. For me, I had to do it here today, gone tomorrow because of my migraines. It was like a huge change in my lifestyle. I don't teach that to people. I teach it step by step. Your cravings are not going to go away overnight, and you've got to give yourself some grace there. Does it mean I can never go out and have a dessert again? Absolutely not. If I want to go out and treat myself, I'm going to do it, because I live by an 80-20 rule. 80% of the time I'm going to eat great. 20% of the time, if I want to indulge, I'm going to indulge.
Hey guys, I would like to take a moment to introduce you to our app, Yoga Plus. You will have access to an incredible selection of videos led by top instructors in yoga, fitness, nutrition, and so much more. Download our Yoga Plus app, available on iOS and Android today.